Bah, écoutez, bonjour, merci d'être venu pour votre vocabulaire aujourd'hui. Thanks very much for coming today. Really appreciate you being here. I love doing vocabulary on tutos because I think it's really something that we don't do enough of in the class, really can't do enough of in the class. So one of the things that we've been focusing on in class recently is parts of speech. And increasingly, I realise how important it is that you really feel confident that you understand what the role of a word is in a sentence to be able to select the right word. And so we're going to give another focus to adjectives again. So here we've got some great adjectives, and we've got a little bit of a game here. It's not a very difficult one. So this is to spot the odd one out in here. So this is really great. Adjectives, fantastic, because it really describes, you're describing things, people, places with them. And actually, it's really a way of injecting a bit of your personality, isn't it, into things as well, because you're giving a bit of your angle, your perspective, your opinion of something if you add an adjective. Very, very simple, even if you're a beginner, to do that. So let's start off with this one. It's a nice little running guy. Sportif, actif, brillant, athlétique. So which one do you think is the odd one out of those? Yeah, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Brillant, brillant. So sporty, active, athletic, and brillant is noisy. Now you've already spotted, haven't you, that these are all in the masculine form. That's because we're talking about a guy here. But if we were talking about a woman, how would these change? So the feminine would be sportive. Yeah, worth making the effort to say that when you know to agree it. Active, brillante with an E on the end, and athlétique stays the same. Notice that the pronunciation of the TH is T, athlétique. There's no th in French. French people find it really hard to make the th sound because it doesn't exist in French. So athlétique. Try and think of a base word to remind yourself, something like T, like T. T might help you, or théâtre, or something like that. Let's go over here. So something's funny, isn't it? So marrant, rigolo, amusant, ouvert. So the odd one out is obviously ouvert. All of the rest mean funny. Now you probably choose the one that you like the best. So marrant is my favorite, and I always say, "Oh, c'est marrant. Oh, but c'est trop marrant. It's really funny." Yes, une chose marrante. Ce qu'il est marrant, c'est, yeah, I like to say that, and it means funny in the sense of, oh, that's a funny thing, or also haha. Yes, so marrant, rigolo. Now marrant, marrante, feminine, rigolo, rigolote, amusant, amusante, and then open, ouvert, ouverte. But if we focus on those three, you kind of think of them as a group. Choose one that you like in there. Now, people would sometimes say, "Oh, are you talking about the color brown?" No, although it does sound the same. Okay, kind, gentil, sympa, rigolo, aimable. You know that sympa is short for sympathique, and it doesn't change for the masculine and feminine. Gentil, gentille, the double L-E. Notice that YM sound is like an N, sympa. Sympa. We've got rigolo, aimable, so likable. Like you can see the relationship with the verb aimer there, can't you, as well? So rigolo is the odd one out there, so they all mean nice, kind. Casse-pied, agaçant, calme, embêtant. This is annoying. You can also say, so casse-pied is break feet, literally. Agaçant, annoying. Calme, calm, the odd one out. Embêtant is annoying. Now, casse-pied wouldn't change in the feminine. Agaçant becomes agaçante. And embêtant becomes embêtante. You can also say casse-tête, if you like, for something that's annoying. Ah, c'est casse-tête, ça. Casse-pied. Or there's a rude version, which is kind of not so rude anymore, which is casse-bonbon. Work it out. So casse-bonbon. That's my favorite. Then we have this guy here. He's sort of like counting his money, I think. Is he? Yes, he is. So radin, avare, populaire, égoïste. So the odd one out in there is populaire. What does that mean then? Radin, avare, égoïste. So égoïste is sort of like more selfish. Radin and avare is mean or tight. Doesn't want to spend his money. That would be radine, and then avare stays the same. Okay, this guy's not doing very much, so he's lazy. So what are the 3 words in here that mean lazy? So not pratique, because that means practical. Paresseux, which would be in the feminine paresseuse. Inactif, inactive. Fainéant, fainéante. So they all mean lazy. And what I'd say with these adjectives is just choose the one that you like the best to start off with, and just start introducing it into sentences that you're saying or writing down. Let's do a few more. Accueillant, accueillant. Imagine there's a Y in there for the pronunciation. Accueillant. Charmant, fou, amical. So which one is the odd one out? The odd one out is fou, which means mad. All the rest mean welcoming. So that's welcoming, charming, friendly. So accueillante, charmante, amicale. Right. Now this, sometimes there's a word in these, well, sérieux. Sérieux doesn't mean the same as it does in English exactly. So let's just see what it does mean. So travailleur, you can connect that, can't you, with the verb? The verb is what? Travailler. The noun is un travail or le travail. So travailleur means hardworking. Studieux, you can guess. And sérieux et créatif. So the odd one out is créatif. Sérieux means that you take things seriously, you care about them. It doesn't mean serious in a sort of like a negative sense that we might mean in English, you know, not much fun. It doesn't mean that. So if someone's referred to as being sérieux or sérieuse, it's a real compliment. It means that they really care about what they do. They take responsibility, they work hard. Okay. Calme, tranquille, timide, silencieux. Okay, which one's the odd one out there? Timide. So calme, that's pretty obvious. Tranquille, you do pronounce tranquille, you do pronounce the L. That's well, tranquille. Silencieux, silent. Intelligent, malin, pratique, doué. You obviously can guess intelligent. You can guess pratique. I think pratique would be the odd one out here. Now, what does malin and doué mean? So malin is smart, but in a kind of a cunning sort of way. Yes, so quite often in shops, you'll see le prix malin, le prix malin. So the smart price, you know, sort of like you're in on it sort of thing, and you've gone for the smart one. If you're, I always think if you're in a line of traffic or something, and then you sort of like know the cut through to get around the traffic jam, then you're sort of like you're malin, yes. And the feminine would be maline. And doué is slightly different. Doué means that you're talented. So if you're really good at something, someone's really good at something, then they're doué, doué. And surdoué is gifted. So doué, nice little one there. So I was working with someone earlier in a private class earlier this week, and they wanted to say when they went into a bakery how lovely the cakes were, and oh, you're really talented, you know what you've made. So they wanted to say, you know, to get some small talk, and they said, "Ah, but vous êtes doué, vous êtes très doué." That's a sort of like a nice way to give a compliment and maybe start up a conversation. So that's a good example. Okay, next we have stupide, inventif, bête, sot. So stupide, you can guess. Inventif, you can guess. So I think inventif would be the odd one out here. But bête, so bête is the same as stupide. So it means stupid. And sot is the same thing. Dumb, if you like. And then the feminine would be sotte. Bête, by the way, is also, so that's an adjective, bête. but you can also say un bête, a noun. So we're going to make the difference, un bête, and that's an animal. So that's good because it's the same word, but we know by the part of speech whether it's going to be an adjective or a noun. We know it's a noun when it's got an article in front of it. Un bête. Okay, moving on. So this one is about strength. Fort, costaud, musclé, inutile. So obviously the odd one out there is not useful, inutile. So fort is strong. Costaud. So fort is strong in all sorts of different ways. So it would be strong in the sense that that's a strong smell. You're very good at something. Tu es fort en mathématiques. You know, so it's strong in all sorts of different senses. Costaud is really about physique. And it, you know, quite often means that you're strong, as in, you know, you might have really broad shoulders or, you know, big muscles. And musclé, well, that's obvious, isn't it? Muscly. So you could use fort for pretty much everything. Costaud, you're going to talk about physically. You can also use costaud for, if you had a really big plate of food, you could say, ah, c'est costaud, c'est costaud. So you go to a restaurant and you get served a lot, you say, oh, but c'est costaud comme plat as well. So slightly subtle differences with how we use it in English. Méchant, désagréable, rude, antipathique. Now, which one's the odd one out in here? Perhaps a bit more difficult to identify. The odd one out actually is rude. It doesn't mean the same in French. It means more like rough. And the noun that I always associate rude with is l'hiver, winter. So an hiver rude is a tough winter, a rough winter. You know, that's what I always associate the word rude with. It's got nothing with being impolite. So that doesn't fit there. So méchant is quite a strong word. It's a very strong word. It's nasty. When I was at school, we were kind of taught that to be sort of like naughty, but it's actually stronger than that. Désagréable, not agreeable. Antipathique, the opposite of sympathique. But you don't say antipas. You can't shorten it. So it's antipathique. Okay, ensuite, chic, élégant, créatif, raffiné. So chic we all know, élégant you can guess. Créatif is the odd one out. And raffiné, like refined. Now, we were thinking that's not what we expect it to be, rude. So here it is. Impoli. Notice that un, it's not im or am. Yeah, we don't pronounce that m. Impoli, grossier, inutile, vulgaire. It's not inutile, not useful. Well, it can be. Impolite, grossier. That's rude. That's when you're, you know, using swear words, really. And vulgaire would be the same. Right, barbon, ennuyeux. Have a go at saying that word after me. Lots of people find it difficult. Ennuyeux, ennuyeux, boring. Mince, embêtant. Mince means slim, so it's the odd one out. So barbon, ennuyeux, embêtant. So notice we're using embêtant again, and they mean boring. But almost like boring and annoying are almost the same. Have the same meaning in French. They overlap a little bit. So if you found something annoying, you might say c'est ennuyeux. In a British sense, sort of like, you know, like an aristocrat might say, oh, it's boring. That sort of thing. Okay, Mr. Grumpy here. Grincheux, utile, collereux, roncheur. Which one? So we've got utile in here again. So it's not useful. Grincheux, so Mr. Grumpy in French is Monsieur Grincheux. So Mr. Grumpy. Collereux, angry. Ronchonneur, someone who complains, grumbles a lot. Choose which one you like the best. And then we finish up with jaloux, poli, respectueux, bien élevé. So the odd one out here is jaloux, which is jealous. So we've got polite again, poli. We had impoli, didn't we there? So we've got polite here. Respectueux. Notice there's a U in there, respectful. And bien élevé is well brought up. If you are level 2 or level 3, you're also going to get this as a study task, which, so you've got a little bit of time to look over it. Très bien, merci beaucoup. Je vous souhaite une très bonne après-midi, très bonne soirée. Et puis, à bientôt. Merci, au revoir.